Here's some avocados I've been working on and off. Shriveled up tiny one that's supposed to look a bit like a Tamagotchi. Oop. And I started this one yesterday. My X-Acto knife is getting dull, so there's a lot of chaos happening. Put pyrite in this, but pyrite is very crumbly, so every time I touch it, little pieces of it fall out. So I'm not sure what's going on there. These teeny tiny ones I'm not really sure what to do with because they're so small. Oh, this one I started. That one's okay, not bad. A leaf pattern going on here. I tried making, this is torn from a piece of, what do you call that? Ceramic frame that doesn't actually function, so I've been breaking it into pretty pieces. And this one's half dry. Another piece of that. Going for kind of a floral shape here, I guess. They're more of like an afterthought. I keep forgetting that they're up here on my desk, but I don't think it matters too much if I forget about them, so. I feel a little bit goofy vlogging unless there are like big actual important things happening, and there's just not. I mean, how could there be? I can't really go anywhere. Nothing's really going on. Somebody asked at the Arts Council if I was going to apply for another show, and I did mention my hesitance in putting on art shows because I do feel really insecure about my inability to bring people in, because I don't have a network of local people who would show up to something like that. And just the way that the last one went, where I had all my art hanging up and then the doors were locked and the lights were off, and it's just like, well, what's the point of having an art show that no one can just walk in and really see? For all the work that goes into framing stuff, buying frames, I didn't know how to make the most of it, and now I have like more of an idea around it being that it should be less like a formal gallery experience and be treated more like a party with your friends. Just invite your friends and have a party in this venue that you're borrowing. And it's supposed to be like fun, and you can actually have activities instead of just having snacks and standing around doing nothing. Like, I never really looked at art shows in that way. The potential for fun is there, and the potential for bringing people in because there's an interactive piece of art aspect to it that people can actually have something to do would be really cool. That was before the pandemic, so that stuff's kind of on hold. But in the meantime, they are taking private visits to shows. My insecurity to bring people in is kind of ignored in this situation because you can't bring a bunch of people in. So I'm wondering if it's actually like an excuse to do that while there is less opportunity to feel self-conscious and weird about it, right? I don't know how I would get art to an art gallery right now because I don't have a car, and I don't really see myself walking each painting like 4 blocks each way over and over again until I fill a gallery. It doesn't seem fun to me. So there's gonna be some logistical issues there, and I'm not really focusing on that right now because I did attempt to do my taxes this weekend and it didn't go well because I guess I finally reached the limit to how much of my taxes I am able to understand. And it's not what I'm supposed to do, but just how I'm supposed to do it in these electronic filing programs. Like, there are so many reasons why people don't actually pursue being a self-employed person or an artist or whatever, because it's really hard. Having a really bad job that just takes up your life and gives you a paycheck with no real satisfaction of any kind, but it is just so much freaking easier to just keep your head down and do that and just send in a T4 every year. Like, it's... Today, John is falling apart as a human, and so he's spending this entire day on the bus to various different medical appointments, and so I'm taking this Monday as a recording day. I've been running on like high octane this weekend, so I'm kind of not adequately prepared to like record a bunch of voiceovers for YouTube. Maybe film some random stuff. Getting a whole week's of vlogging in today. I don't know. What should I do? Because I might not get this again, you know? So this month on Patreon, we're doing an artist's encyclopedia. I really wanted to make this book into a sketchbook. Let me start this as a new file. This cat has just been so happy this year. She doesn't like being filmed. She's been just so happy having people home, I guess, all the time, because she's been just so spicy. Playtime all the time. I think she's turning 12 this year, and she just seems like a kitten. Like, there's nothing elderly about this cat at all. You like the sunshine, huh? Couple things. I've been playing with some, this is a different paper that I'm going to talk about soon, but I was just playing with a more like illustrative samples in case I ever need them, which is kind of pretty. I don't really like how this paper warps quite so much. So I have the cards in from the ETC trade I did with Valerie. Sent a letter with these cute little pictures on them. Cute. This one's exciting because it has little, I'm not sure if those are birds or stingrays. Probably birds. I keep thinking they're like the type that fly out of the water, you know, the stingrays. And this one's wrapped up because it's an oil painting. Like as soon as I pulled it out of the paper, I'm like, ooh, that smells like oil. It's very cool. I actually wouldn't mind playing with oil again. It's definitely on my list of things to try. And like the way, like how impasto it is with very little effort, because that's just the way that the paint is. I kind of miss that. This is Valerie's. I coveted this cloud, which is probably why she sent it to me. Oh, it dangles. Bees. Very cute bees. I really like the simplicity of this because it's really about color, if anything, because this particular color scheme, the black, the cream, the green, is gorgeous. Bee swarm. Is that? No. I don't know enough about Pokemon to know what he's wearing. It was giving me some Gur vibes. I'm sure that's not related. What would you say this was? Is this ink? But that looks like it was very fun to make. Oh, it is ink. I like group swaps the most. I think it's because in Canada, like Canada Post, it's like $1 to send mail. And if you do like a lot of swaps online, that stuff adds up. So it's really fun to just kind of do it all in one burst and then get 5, 10, 12 at a time. That's really fun. And that's like what I have a tendency to do with my old paintings. Like some of these were made intentionally, right? They have some beaded ones. And then other ones, like if I have a painting I don't like anymore, sometimes I will cut them up into little chunk pieces. But I just keep them in case I need them for like, sounds dumb. In case I end up going to like an in-person swap. I've done that only one time in my life. Like a lot of these aren't really worth keeping. Like this one's just a piece of like the background, but I just really like the way that it dripped. It looks kind of nice on its own. And then, you know, the birds, I kept that. This one fish. That's what I ended up doing with this painting. The stone paper experiment. I really, really like the texture and color. Same with this giant resin chunk. So these are all the ones that I have. I used to be in a Yahoo group for trading, so some of these are like individual trades. I think there's something in here that's kind of cool. Because I think this holds like a really cool trinket. Yeah, it has a very cool ancient coin in it. That's so cool. It's very thin. It's probably just like a piece off of something decorative. I don't know. It's very thin. I don't know if I want to keep it in there forever, you know? Maybe I should take it out so that I can enjoy it more. A few of them were for, I'd say maybe out of this book, maybe 24 pieces were from like gallery kind of shows. The show ends and then they send different people's cards back to you. I really like doing things like that. I love this card. It's so basic, but I love it. It's so pretty. And the thing about the Yahoo group online is that there's a limited number of people, so you trade over and over again. So you see like a lot of the same exact like art pieces over and over, and so it does get a little bit wearing. This one's cool. It's got like the strings and inset foam bird in it. I remember that one. I really love this one. This one's a book, like a notebook. I think all of these ones were from Saskatchewan, actually. Yeah, I recognize so many of these. Beautiful. Love copper. Love these leaf skeletons a lot. This one I remember because I traded with somebody in the Netherlands, and if I trade with someone within Canada, it takes like 3 weeks, and this one got to me in literally 2 days. It makes no sense. And a lot of these, if you've been here for a long time, you've seen me open these up. It was part of a huge swap. There's a person who does big swaps, so like 50 cards at a time or something like that. Or that's right, it was full decks of cards, like, so 52 cards per person, and that is totally awesome, like, because you get so many cards. And I know some people were annoyed in my comments being like, oh, but they're just not that good, totally not worth the time. But the thing is, like, it's not about being good, it's about sharing your art with each other. And now, like, because art is one of a kind, like a human made this by hand, and it's very special, and they put time and work into it. And so yeah, the theme of this one was inspiration quotes, you know, but it still it means something to have that connection, like, but that is kind of like the spirit of trading cards, is to expand your connection with the world and to be part of somebody else's circle, whether it's a big part or not, right? This is cool. What's this? Ew. Ew, it feels waxy. Oh, that's a wax, my friend. Oh god, I want to do encaustic so bad. This one on the back. I love the ones with trinkets in them. Look at that. Look at that. And it has a fish in it. I don't know when I became such a pro fish person. Yeah, people get really upset that they can't like draw or paint, but doing stuff like this is quite a skill in its own. Look how coordinated and beautiful it is. Some people do digital art too, print it out. Oh, this is one of mine. These must be the Hot Wet Art City. Hot Art Wet City. I get that mixed up a lot. So they made copies and traded it in person. This was like an event. And this must be, I think we did books and movie quotes. So these are the ones that I got for that. Is that a piece of bark? I haven't looked at these for a long time. I love fabric ones the most, honestly. It's very cool. Tiny quilt. This is one of the shows. I think this one was the Saskatchewan one. Is that where it was? Mackenzie Art Gallery. So it has all of these. And so people who attend, I guess, could cut these out and have their own little trading card. It's very cool. And then there's my Sailor Moon stuff. Some of these are cards that I made that I'm keeping. My card cats. What are these? These are copies of the ATCs that I printed. My own copies. Thank you for joining me on my tour.